Good morning, everybody. Hopefully, you had a wonderful, wonderful weekend. But it's time to get back to business. It is time for, you know what it is, the morning show, the morning report, the pre market report with yours truly, Dex the Algo Capitalist, coming to you live from postwavetrading.com, home of the world famous Postwave Price Trigger Reports. What up, Russell? In the live stream here, all the way from Cape Breton, Nova Scotia. All right, so let's take a look at these overnight markets. So we got the US dollar being defiant this morning. That's right, folks, refusing to go below 106. We're at 106.12. All right, we hit a low of 106.03. So right now, the market is only down 3 pips. We got the euro up 11 pips at 106.28. We got the pound sterling up 8 pips at 121.68. And we got the Aussie up 2 pips at 63.28. Bitcoin futures is the morning hero right now, up 1,135, trading at 30,820 after hitting 31,100 in the overnight market. This is why you need those post-wave price trigger reports. Been warning you about that. Ethereum futures up 70 at $1,680 even. Crude oil down $1 a barrel at $87.07 a barrel. Nat gas is up a penny at $2.91. Gold is down $5.60 an ounce at $1,989 an ounce. Silver down 21 cents an ounce at $23.28 an ounce. Copper is basically flat, $3.57. Dow futures down 164 at 33,090. S&P 500 down 19.5 at 42.29 even. The Nasdaq 100 is down 63 and a quarter points at 14,603 quarters. We got the Russell down 6.3 at 1,683.6. Soybeans off 10 cents at $12.92. I know, now we're no longer beans in the teens. We got corn down almost $1.50 at $4.94 a bushel. And wheat is up 2 cents at $5.88 a bushel. Now it's time to scan for the 2-bar Charlie setups. Let's see if we have any. Starting all the way from the top here of the list and going down. All right, Bitcoin has a bullish 2-bar Charlie setup for this morning. That's an all-day up day, meaning that this market will and should close in the green and be up all day. All right, let's see. Looking at Ethereum futures, yes, we have a bullish 2-bar Charlie setup, all day up day, meaning that the market should and will settle in the green. All right, scanning now. Oil, nat gas, nope. All right. Okay, nat gas has a bearish 2-bar Charlie setup, meaning you can expect an all-day down day and for the market to settle in the red. All right, scanning. Getting into the stock index futures now. Nothing there. Let's go into these grains. And we have nothing. All right, so you got nat gas, Bitcoin, and Ethereum futures with the 2-bar Charlie setups this morning. Everything else, no go. All right, let's get into these market news, things that you need to know before the open. All right, so buy. It's a pretty terrible time to buy a house these days, which is why it's a good time to buy a house. I know it doesn't make sense, but the housing market is in an absolute mess for the first time since 2000. Mortgage rates hit 8%. Existing home sales are expected to close at their lowest level since 2011. So whether you're buying or selling a home, you're probably frustrated. But you shouldn't necessarily throw in the towel on your home buying dreams, not just yet. The housing market's rough waters mean the brave few willing to navigate them will have an easier time finding a house than when everyone piles back in once the rates start to fall. Insiders Jennifer Soar detailed why it's a good time to buy a house, and insiders Jacob Zakuli spoke to housing experts about the advice they'd have for home buyers willing to jump into the fray. Part of the issue is that mortgage rates won't magically drop overnight. And when they do start to come back down, they're still not going to drop as low as you might hope. If that's not a compelling argument, don't forget the competition will only get stronger the longer you wait. As Gen Zers start considering buying homes, that just means another wave of people to compete with houses. And while home builders have seen some bright spots, they won't solve all the supply issues that will come when buyers ramp back up. Instead, more people are queuing to buy a finite amount of houses with every passing day. Now, if you thought that the bidding wars a couple of years ago were bad, imagine what it'll be like with people flush with cash after being sidelined for the past year. Think about it. What about people trying to buy their first home? It's gonna be bananas out there, you know. So if you are in need of housing, at the end of the day, buying a house in a way is like stacking precious metals. Everyone needs a roof over their head. So if you're in need of a roof over your head, it's always a good time to buy because you need a roof over your head. And just like with stacking precious metals, doesn't matter what the price is. It's always a good idea to stack your metals. Now, before the opening bell, we already talked about how the markets are what they're doing. But a former Point 72 president who resigned after a Me Too scandal is raising a new fund. Doug Haynes is hoping to raise $1 billion for Narias Research Group, a new fund based in West Palm Beach, Florida. Haynes resigned from Steve Cohen's Point 72 in 2018, a month after being named a defendant in a sexual discrimination lawsuit. Billionaire Leo Cooperman isn't very bullish on the S&P 500. The famed investor said stocks are overpriced and the S&P 500 won't hit a new high for a long time. Instead, a rolling correction will occur that will take a long time for us to work out the problems, he said. Now, investments set to take off in 2024, well, there's some of the top minds at Ameriprise Financial, and they've outlined how to maximize gains heading into 2024. And detailed sectors on the rise next year may include financials, industrials, and materials. I'm here to tell you, I call bunk on that because the banking and financial sector right now is in a bear market, and that bear market shows no signs of being done with. Now, in tech news, people are grieving the death of their AI lovers after chatbot app Soulmate abruptly shuts down. They're making digital memorials, forming ad hoc support groups, and collectively mourning on Reddit. Soulmate's closure highlights the perils of entrusting your deepest emotions with a smartphone app. The auto industry overestimated EV demand this year. Now, companies are scrambling. The industry experienced multi year growth, but that's starting to slow, leaving some wondering if car makers pushed EV too early. Well, I can tell you straight off the rip, the problem with the whole electric car thing is that you don't have a way to do long distance driving. An electric vehicle is great when you're driving in town, it's perfect. But if you want to travel a couple of 100 miles away to go visit grandma, you're gonna have to be in another vehicle. All right. People know better. You can't take no electric car over an 800-mile drive. How are you gonna fill up? You can't. They don't really have any charging stations like that. All the charging stations are right, you know, in town. But once you get on that beltway, that highway, that interstate, you're done. All right. Once you run out of fuel, you have no charging station near you, and you're in trouble. At least if you're driving a gas car, there's thousands of gas stations everywhere. All right. So you're gonna be good to go. But electric vehicle, you don't have no charging stations like that. That's gonna take time to build up. And until that time comes, your electric vehicle is only good for taking you to the grocery store, your doctor's appointment, and coming right back home. And if you work in town, then you can go to work with it. But that's it. That's all you're gonna be able to do with that type of a vehicle. Amazon shut down a Slack channel where thousands of employees discuss performance improvement plans. Let's see. This is a hashtag focus and pivot info was deleted about a month ago, but another channel appears to be the new gathering spot. And I think this is probably a way to combat the fact that Amazon is planning to install 750,000 robots because they got 1.2 million workers worldwide. So if they can replace at least 750,000 of them with these robots, they'll be able to save a bunch of money and take that cost of savings and move it over to the profit side. And business news, the new way insurance companies are ripping you off. Insurance companies sell their policies as friendly neighbors that can offer you peace of mind. But that neighborly charm begins to wane when they start using loopholes and exclusions to deny your claims. Now, I will tell you this, and you don't have to believe me, but I know firsthand that their employees are trained, encouraged to deny your claims. Find an exclusion, find a way to deny or stall your claims. And this goes all the way back to the late 80s, early 1990s. All right, this is just how it is. All right, you call your insurance company and they're going to find a way to exclude you. They're going to say it's not covered under the exclusions and make you fight for the money. All right, it's just how it is, especially health insurance companies. They're the worst. I may have to do a separate thinking outside the box podcast just on health insurance alone because that's a big one. Microsoft CEO dishes on AI, Activision Blizzard deal, and more. He sat down with Matthias Dopner, CEO of Insider's parent company, Axel Springer, for an in depth interview. They discussed cricket, Marxism, family love, mistakes, Microsoft, and other wide ranging topics. And finally, NVIDIA CEO gave a super honest look at what's like to start your own company. Jensen Huang says he wouldn't do it again if he had to go back. He said that to this day, I tricked my brain into thinking how hard it can it be because you have to. So, wow, barriers to entry are getting a lot wider these days, folks. All right, so that is our pre-market talk this morning. I appreciate everybody listening. You're definitely going to want to check back with us for the Thinking Outside the Box podcast that will be starting at 11:30. And we're going to be talking about something very deep. We have to deal with it. It's not that I want to talk about it, but we got to. And we're going to be doing some debunking on how an Israeli strike killed hundreds in Gaza Baptist Hospital. You don't want to miss that. I also have a surprise talk for you. So you definitely want to stay tuned to that. With that being said, everyone be encouraged. And I'll see you guys back here tomorrow morning. on our pre-market show. So smash that like button, share, these morning meetings with your friends and family. You never know who it may help or encourage. Invite them to tune in as well. And I'll see you guys back here tomorrow morning. And the rest of you, I'll see you on the Thinking Outside the Box podcast starting at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, that is broadcast exclusively on Rumble. Peace.